not scared. I would have left. For real. I'm not. It's just like, I'm gonna be honest. I never had my kid because of the evil stuff that's
carried over your head.
No, it's like
just how the evil in the world.
Yeah, so much evil, but even it's close to my kid. It's in his daddy. It's in his grandmother. It's in the people that.
I think that's now why
Clout. My baby is clouted out too. Like he got hella clout, bro. Like,
have you seen the trend now?
He's
Celebrities
more famous than me and his dad.
Not Chrisean out here calling people clout chasers while her own moves keep putting Junior in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Just days ago, she was getting dragged online a den after clips surfaced of her taking surfing lessons while another woman watched Junior with the baby left whining in a stroller and a bottle sitting in the sand like nobody was really locked in. Then there was that earlier situation where Junior was seen in the back seat without a proper car seat, sliding around while the car was moving, and people were already heated about safety back then. Now folks are side-eyeing heavy after reports that she left her son with someone tied to street activity while she was roaming around looking visibly out of it and unfocused. People aren't even trying to be funny anymore. They're saying this isn't about clout, it's about responsibility and basic care, and that's why the backlash keeps getting louder every single time.
Hey, yo, we outside. It's lit.
At this point, people are really asking when enough is finally going to kick in when it comes to Chrisean and her son, because the situation keeps getting heavier by the day. The pattern is starting to look scary to a lot of folks watching from the outside, and the feeling is that if nothing changes, this could spiral into something real ugly real fast. There's been non-stop chaos surrounding her life lately, so instead of dancing around it, let's get straight into what she actually said. While appearing on the One Night with Steiny podcast, Chrisean got real about her ongoing issues with Blueface and his family, and she didn't sugarcoat the mess at all. She admitted that the constant arguing, online attacks, and tension connected to Blue has created an environment full of negativity, and she openly questioned whether bringing her son into that chaos was fair in the first place. People caught that moment instantly because hearing a parent acknowledge that kind of emotional pressure raised eyebrows everywhere. Listeners weren't shocked by the drama, but they were stunned by how openly she admitted that the nonstop conflict has affected how she views motherhood, relationships, and her own decisions. And that confession alone had the internet buzzing non-stop. Things got real emotional real fast when Chrisean started talking about Blueface and how his actions have directly affected their child, and you could hear the frustration in her voice. She made it clear that she draws the line when it comes to anyone getting messy involving her son, especially when private family matters are blasted online during heated arguments. She brought up that viral incident where Blueface shared an inappropriate image connected to their child during a feud, and that moment had people absolutely stunned and upset across social media. Chrisean confirmed that Child Protective Services stepped in after that post went public, but she explained that she couldn't move forward with a police report because she would have faced legal trouble herself for originally taking and sharing the image privately as a parent. That part alone had listeners sitting in silence. She also broke down what happened after Blueface was released, explaining that she genuinely tried to show support as a co-parent and even helped him financially, hoping to keep things calm. But according to her, the situation flipped fast, turning hostile and humiliating, with Chrisean describing being disrespected publicly and pushed into degrading situations on livestream that left people shocked and angry watching it unfold. The way she told it, the switch-up was wild, and the internet has not stopped talking about how quickly support turned into chaos. Then Chrisean went on to say that Blueface was extremely jealous anytime high-profile rappers showed her respect, and she didn't hesitate to name names at all. She claimed that when artists like Lil Baby and Drake acknowledged her, it caused major tension, especially since Lil Baby was allegedly giving her real grown man advice about life and career. According to Chrisean, he told her she had way too much negativity around her to truly grow, and she made it seem like that honesty triggered insecurity and control issues on Blueface's end. The way she explained it, you'd almost walk away thinking she's just misunderstood and unfairly judged by the public. But then reality hits hard because when you actually look at her actions, especially the ones involving her child, the story doesn't line up at all. people aren't confused for no reason. It's hard to hear someone speak passionately about loving their son while also seeing situations where his basic care looks shaky at best. Folks are still asking why she was out taking surfing lessons while a random woman was watching Junior with his bottles sitting in the sand instead of being properly handled like it should be. That disconnect is exactly why so many people feel torn, because the words sound caring, but the behavior keeps sending a completely different message every single time. The bottle was literally open in the sand while the baby was whining and curled up in the stroller, and people couldn't believe what they were seeing.
Hi.
And today,
Hi, bud.
we got one.
What's wrong? You having a fit? You hot? What's going on? You want your bottle?
Oh yeah, maybe it's hot.
Yay! You said yay! Yay!
And as if that moment wasn't already alarming enough, clips resurfaced showing her child loose in the backseat of a moving car with no proper car seat in sight, sliding around while she kept driving like nothing was wrong. Folks online were fed up because this wasn't some one-time slip. It was just another example added to a growing list of situations where people felt basic care was being ignored. At this point, many are asking how she expects anyone to believe she truly has her child's best interests at heart when her behavior keeps contradicting her words. What really left people disgusted was seeing her wandering the streets visibly lost and unfocused after allegedly being denied entry to Blueface's party, while rumors spread that her baby had been left behind without proper essentials or planning. Social media dragged her for allegedly trusting the wrong people around her during all this chaos, especially individuals already surrounded by controversy and legal talk, which only made things look worse. And now the drama escalated again because she ended up getting caught up in another heated situation tied back to Blueface. Chrisean really pulled up to Compton despite being warned not to, trying to move like everything was calm and wholesome at first. There were kids nearby, people praying, folks playing basketball, and the vibe looked peaceful until someone shoved a camera in her face. Once the filming started, tensions flipped instantly, and Chrisean knocked the phone down asking why she was being recorded. And that single moment set everything off again.
We appreciate you coming up here, but if we was like that, no, don't record nothing on me.
Every time it looks like things might cool down, another public scene pops up, and people are seriously questioning how much more chaos needs to happen before something finally changes. And that's when everything popped off. One girl stepped in and slapped Chrisean, and according to people watching, that single moment flipped a switch instantly. What started as tension turned into straight chaos in seconds, with voices raised, bodies moving everywhere, and people jumping in all at once. Some folks were yelling to break it up, others were clearly picking sides, and the whole scene turned messy fast, just like it always does when cameras and egos collide. Chrisean ended up throwing her hands too, and she later claimed she managed to drop one girl during the scuffle, while the rest started grabbing hair and pulling from different directions. The wild part is how confident she sounded afterward, saying it was supposedly 6 girls, no security stepped in, no weapons involved, and somehow she walked away without a scratch on her face. She even pointed out that her chains were still around her neck, untouched, like that alone proved her point. She kept repeating how unbelievable it was, saying, how does 6 people jump in and she still looks exactly the same?
But I'm letting y'all know, bro, at the end of the day, I don't need security. I'm okay. It ain't like, I will rock with security. That ain't gonna be for, cause I'm scared. I'm not scared. I would've left. For real. I'm not. It's just like, I'm gonna be honest.
But of course, the other girls weren't staying quiet at all. They jumped online almost immediately, pushing back hard and saying she didn't win anything, nobody got jumped, and that the situation was being exaggerated for sympathy. According to them, it was just a slap, no real fight, and they claimed Chrisean didn't even swing the way she said she did.
I'm on live popping it like that. First of all, I was sitting there recording just like everybody else in the crowd was recording. She decided to grab my phone. Girl, I don't know you grabbing my phone. So yes, I slapped her like I would do any other in the world. Just because you're Chrisean and you got a platform, I don't give a who you are. If you grab my phone, I'm gonna slap out of you. Period.
Now both sides are talking loud, clips are circulating everywhere, and once again the internet is split, arguing over who's telling the real story and who's stretching the truth for attention. Then things took an even stranger turn when people involved started tagging Natalie Nunn and Zeus, and that's when the side eyes really started flying. Folks were like, wait a minute, is this actually about Blueface anymore, or is this starting to look like a low-budget audition for baddies? The timing felt way too convenient, the tagging felt calculated, and the whole situation instantly gave off trying to go viral vibes instead of anything genuine. A lot of people felt like the real issue was getting lost in the clout chase once again. Now, if there's one person who seems completely over the theatrics, it's Blueface himself. He's done a couple of recent interviews addressing the situation involving his son, and his tone was very clear. First off, Blueface said his relationship status with Chrisean Rock is officially nowhere, and he even joked that he left her in the desert somewhere, making it obvious he's mentally checked out. He also explained that while he doesn't hate her or wish anything bad on her, he genuinely believes he cannot be successful or stable while being tied to her romantically. On top of that, Blueface directly addressed rumors about their child, denying claims that his son has any mental or physical disabilities. According to him, the baby is active, alert, able to see, stand, and move around normally, and he wanted to shut down speculation that he felt was unfair and exaggerated. That statement alone sparked another wave of debate online, because now both parents are telling very different stories, and once again, the internet is left trying to piece together what's real and what's being spun for damage control and public sympathy. Blueface also addressed the conversation around his son's development, and he made sure to be very specific with his words. He acknowledged that Chrisean Jr. is not speaking yet and mostly communicates through sounds right now, but he said people need to stop jumping to wild conclusions. According to him, that delay was tied to a medical issue from birth that had already been handled, not any permanent condition. He explained that his son had a hernia that limited movement early on, which naturally slowed certain milestones, but once surgery took care of it, there was nothing medically holding him back anymore. Blueface was firm in saying that his son does not have a disability and shouldn't be labeled or talked about like something is wrong with him. He claimed the child is active, alert, and capable, and that the issue people keep debating has already been resolved. Where things got uncomfortable is when he shifted from health to parenting, because he said the only real disadvantage his son faces is a lack of consistent structure, attention, and stability. He framed it as an environment problem, not a medical one, saying growth needs time, patience, and real hands-on care. That statement sparked heavy reactions online, because while some agreed with his perspective, others felt he was deflecting responsibility, and once again, the internet was split straight down the middle, arguing over what's concern and what's just more finger-pointing. Blueface didn't stop there, because he went even harder when talking about what he feels is missing on Chrisean's end as a mother. According to him, she doesn't believe in being nurturing in the traditional sense, meaning she's not focused on teaching, guiding, or spending consistent quality time helping their son grow. He claims she doesn't really support his progress the way a child needs, and he made it clear that in his eyes, this is where things keep falling apart. Blueface stressed that their son has the full ability to grow and thrive just like any other child, but said Chrisean's lifestyle and choices are slowing that process down and holding him back. He flat out said the real issue in their co-parenting situation is her, not him. At the same time, he did acknowledge that Chrisean is still new to motherhood and said he's trying to be patient with her learning curve. He explained that he's giving her time to understand that healthy co-parenting would actually benefit her in the long run. But then he dropped another bomb, saying she's been treating their son like a package deal, basically using access to the child as leverage. According to Blueface, she's pushing the idea that if he doesn't want to be with her romantically, then he shouldn't be allowed to be around their son either. That claim had people heated because it paints the situation less like confusion and more like control. And once again, the internet lit up arguing over whether this is frustration talking or a deeper pattern that's been hiding in plain sight all along. Blueface also said Chrisean still has a lot of healing to do, and in his opinion, once she actually works through that, she'll be more willing to let him step in and take on more responsibility with their child. He made it sound like her resistance right now isn't about parenting, but about unresolved emotions and control. According to him, time and growth could shift the dynamic, but only if she's willing to face what she's dealing with internally. In another interview, Blueface was asked a direct question about how hard it is as a father to not fully know what's going on with his child, especially when Chrisean's lifestyle has been publicly described as unstable and he's not physically present to monitor things himself. The interviewer even brought up viral moments where Chrisean was on livestream or had her child in public situations that made people uncomfortable. Blueface responded by saying the only thing he can really do is insist, advise, and try to guide from a distance. He admitted it's frustrating, but said he can't force control. He added that his main advice to Chrisean has always been to stop putting the baby on display publicly, because from day one, nothing positive has come from making private parenting moments internet content. That comment hit hard because it sounded less like shade and more like exhaustion from watching the same cycle repeat over and over again. Blueface went on to say that Chrisean should really pull back from putting their child out in the public eye, because once the internet sees something, they don't let it go. He explained that even if people wouldn't completely forget about the baby, at least they wouldn't be picking apart every little moment all day long. According to him, that constant attention only adds pressure and unnecessary commentary that doesn't help anyone involved. He also pointed out that early on, she was actually following guidance, and during that time, things were slowly improving. He said routines were forming, structure was there, and progress was noticeable when instructions were being followed. But once she decided to move on her own and no longer be under his guidance, he said he stepped back completely instead of continuing to advise someone who wasn't listening. Blueface made it clear he wasn't trying to control her, but he also wasn't going to keep repeating himself. He added that when they were locked in and she followed advice, things worked every single time because he had already been through similar situations and knew what stability looked like. Once she stopped listening, he said she had to learn the hard way, and according to him, all of this chaos is just part of her learning curve. That statement rubbed people the wrong way, because while some saw it as tough love, others felt like it sounded detached, leaving the internet once again split down the middle. Chrisean didn't stay quiet for long and finally fired back at Blueface for publicly criticizing her parenting, and she sounded hurt and defensive all at once. She said she doesn't understand why he keeps acting like he doesn't want to be in their son's life, and insisted it has nothing to do with her pushing him away. According to Chrisean, the real reason she's been spiraling and crashing out is because she genuinely wants her child's father involved and present. She accused Blueface of speaking on a sensitive situation like he's telling the full truth, saying that kind of talk cuts deep. She went on to say how painful it is to hear him speak negatively about her and their son publicly, calling it hurtful and unnecessary. She stressed that their child is precious, that she loves him deeply, and that dragging their names online feels like an attempt to tear them both down at the same time. In her eyes, Blueface pretends to care while actually doing damage, and that contradiction is what really gets under her skin. Now here's where public opinion gets complicated. If this was only Blueface criticizing Chrisean, some people admit they might be more willing to believe her claims that he's jealous or intentionally making her life harder. But the issue is, the concern hasn't just come from him. Since early on, people online have repeatedly questioned situations involving her child's safety, and those worries didn't stop after the pregnancy. What really raised eyebrows is when Chrisean's own sister, Taseki, went online and publicly called her out as well. She expressed serious concern about Chrisean's behavior and emotional state, suggesting that she needs professional help and support. While those statements are opinions, not diagnoses, the fact that concern is coming from inside her own family made the conversation feel heavier. At this point, it's no longer just exes arguing, it's a growing list of voices questioning whether everything is actually okay behind the scenes, and that's why this situation keeps hitting a nerve. At this point, I'm honestly not even focused on Chrisean anymore, and that's the real tea. The only thing that genuinely has people worried right now is the baby, because if this pattern keeps repeating, nobody knows what the next 2 or 3 years are going to look like. That's not shade, that's real concern, and it's why so many people feel uneasy watching this play out in real time. And for those asking why Chrisean still has full custody, trust me, you're not alone, because that question has been floating around non-stop and everybody is waiting on real answers. But now I want to hear from you. Let me know what you think should be done after everything that's happened recently. Drop your thoughts in the comments, keep it respectful but honest. And if this breakdown helped you see the situation clearer, make sure you like, share, and subscribe for more updates like this. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next one, and I'll see you right back here on the next video.